we got some box office talk here.
Yeah, Mark Malakoff, right? Didn't he send this to us?
Yeah, this one came from a contributor who's in the chat right now, Mark Malnikoff. Thank you very much.
Francis Ford Coppola's decades in the making self-financed epic Megalopolis flopped with moviegoers. I know nothing about Megalopolis.
I heard.
What have you heard about this movie?
I heard a review. Honestly, it sounded, and I am not even joking, it sounded more bizarre to me than anything David Lynch had ever done.
Is it like a Metropolis movie? Because I'm thinking, I think they do his own version of Metropolis.
It's like a dystopian, sci-fi-ish, futuristic.
So it's like Metropolis.
Kind of.
I mean, it might be good. Is it good?
Not from what I've heard.
It's got Adam Driver in it, which I don't know, man. I just know him from Kylo Ren and also the creep he played on Girls. I'm just not.
I know what it was a. Now, in fairness, this is not probably the best way to consume your review of a film, but I saw the pitch meeting for it.
Oh, that's funny.
Which was hysterical, but I mean, you know how the pitch meetings goes. You got the guy playing the two roles, the guy who wrote the movie and the one he's pitching it to works for the studio, and the guy from the studio is like, I do not understand what you are talking about. And every so often he would just start playing on his phone. He's like, sir, and he's like, I'm sorry, are you still talking about this? You know? I don't understand what you're talking about.
Coppola's an odd duck, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you ever see that made-for-TV movie you did for Fox? That had the talking Rottweiler in there?
No.
You don't even know what I'm talking about?
No.
It had that actor who was I forget his name. He was in Tin Man. Did you see Tin Man on Sci-Fi Channel?
Oh, sure.
He was the guy who played the Tin Man. He was in this Fox, and like he shows up on this planet, and he's the doctor, and there's a talking Rottweiler in it.
Oh my God.
Like an anthropomorphic talking Rottweiler. Not like I don't know if this was an alien Rottweiler, an alien dog that looked like a Rottweiler, like an alien dog species, or if this was a Rottweiler they did gene therapy on and made into a talking person type. I don't know.
Maybe this is what I should have prefaced what I was saying. Nate brings up a good point. Don't be confused. This has nothing to do with Megalopolis from the Adult Swim cartoons and whatnot. This is completely different.
I'm back. Sorry, I had to do something real quick. Okay, but it's a Doom Megalopolis. Is that what he was saying?
It's I don't know.
I've not gotten that on Blu-ray yet. Doom Megalopolis. That was one of these animes that was pushing the envelope. Back in the 80s and 90s, they pushed the envelope on some of these animes, and I have Crying Freeman. I haven't gotten Doom Megalopolis yet, I think. But all right, it's a dystopian future retelling.
To, Real Wade Nation Gaming, by the way.
Okay. I didn't hate it, but it was the pitch meeting is about right. Okay, so let's go. Flop with moviegoers. Well, the acclaimed DreamWorks animation family film The Wild Robot soared to #1 at the weekend box office. The Wild Robot, Chris Sanders' adaptation of Peter Brown's bestseller, outperformed expectations to launch with 35 million in ticket sales in the United States and Canadian theaters. According to studio estimates Sunday, Wild Robot was poised to do well after critics raved about the story of a shipwrecked robot who races an orphan gosling. Audiences agreed, giving the film a cinema score. Wild Robot is likely to set up a long and lucrative run for the Universal Pictures release. Paul
That guy, Paul.
Okay, Paul, senior media analyst for ComScore predicted the Wild Robot may take the page from the Elemental playbook by opening to a respectable box office and then going forward with long-term playability. Pixar's Elemental, which like the Wild Robot wasn't a sequel, debuted with a modest 30 million but went on to gross nearly 500 million worldwide. Family movies led by the year's biggest hit is Inside Out 2 have particularly powered box office this year. David A. Gross, a film consultant who publishes a newsletter for Franchise Entertainment, said the genre should reach $6 billion worldwide in 2024, which he noted is back to pre-pandemic levels. Megalopolis, Coppola's vision of a Roman epic set in modern-day New York, was never expected to perform close to that level, but the film's $4 million debut was still sobering movie that Coppola bankrolled himself for $120 million. Following its premiere at the Cannes Film Festival, critics have been mixed on Coppola's first film in 13 years. Audiences gave it a D+ cinema score. What do you think?
Wow. Yeah.
By any financial measure, Megalopolis was a mega flop, but from the start, the 85-year-old Coppola maintained money wasn't his concern. Coppola fashioned the film, which he first began developing in the late 1970s, as a grand personal statement about human possibility. Everyone's so worried about money, Coppola told the Associated Press in an interview ahead of the film's release. I say, give me less money and give me more friends.
I mean, that's fine. And if he's happy with it, it was his money to lose. So obviously I can't fault him for that. If he's okay with the way this movie's doing, great. My only thought is, if you've had 50 years to work on this, don't you think you would have made something a little bit more coherent?
It'll take 50 years for the audience to recognize the genius, I think.
By which time he'll be dead and gone, and he won't even be around to appreciate it.
Studios passed the Megalopolis after Cannes. Lionsgate openly stepped up to distribute it for a fee. Coppola also picked up the tab for most of the $15 million in marketing costs. The film, which stars Adam Driver, Natalie Emanuel, and Aubrey Plaza, also played in about 200 IMAX locations, which accounted for $1.8 million of its ticket sales. After 3 weeks at the box office, Tim Burton's Beetlejuice slid into second place with $16 million in its fourth weekend of release. Warner Brothers' sequel to 1988 Beetlejuice, starring Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder, has amassed $250 million domestically in a month of release. That's good, right?
Yeah.
It was a hit. Third place went to Transformers 1, the Transformers prequel starring Chris Hemsworth and Brian Tyree Henry. That's an animated movie. After its lower than expected debut last weekend, Paramount release collected $9.3 million on its second weekend. I don't think anybody was hyped for that. Also debuting in theaters was Jason Reitman's Saturday Night, an affectionate dramatization of the sketch comedy institution on the night it first aired in 1975. So it's like a dramatization of the first airing of Saturday Night Live. That might be interesting.
You know what? Curtis is making a great point. Megalopolis, I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong, he is talking some Roman history and trying to warn us that America could go down the same dark road Rome did.
It might be a great movie. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Do you remember a while back they did a Romeo and Juliet in a modern setting? I believe that was with
DiCaprio.
With DiCaprio, right?
And what's her name?
I don't know.
Claire Danes.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
I didn't watch
how weirdly on the nose it was. It was Shakespeare, but it was modern day.
Remember John Leguizamo was in it, who's always complaining he never gets great parts, but I'm just saying. Anyway.
It was just really strange. Well, that's kind of how my impression of this movie is. That they're literally casting like Julius Caesar and these other Roman historical figures, but they're framing them as like mobsters or something like that. And it's like I mean, and they're actually going with these actual names and their familial relationships and stuff like that. And it's like, this is weird. You know, if you want to do a story about Rome,
would it make more sense to make him a politician?
Yeah, do it about Rome. If you want to do something, Godfather-ish, do that. But this halfway in between doesn't work.
Well, anyway, it's now playing in theaters, probably coming to a mystery movie night soon at Regal. Right? No,
actually, I think if it's already out,
they can't do that. They should have been a mystery movie night a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
They should start anticipating what the dogs are going to be and start doing the mystery movie night for those, right?
It's
Right.
risking
That's
them.
exactly what Megalopolis is.
Yeah, and
Okay.
and I'll be honest with you. Yeah, if the point is the U.S. could go the way Rome did if we don't get our stuff together, okay, fine. I agree 100%. But I think the execution here was not the best.
Or you could just watch Claudius.
You know,
uh
actually, I'm starting to think that they could do Caligula. It would be a little bit more on the nose for the way modern Hollywood and Washington are. Although I think maybe they're worse than Caligula, if that's possible.
Remember how I had mentioned about the Grindhouse double feature on Friday when we did our stream Friday
You
when I
bet,
saw the
yeah.
Planet Terror? I often thought that if they had done more of them, they should have done. Apparently, one of the various types of exploitation movies is what's known as Caligula exploitation. So I was
Okay.
thinking a modern person could have done a take on that, but made it about Messalina, Claudius's wife, instead of Caligula. You know,
Interesting.
had her be like awful and torturing people. I've heard good things about Claudius. It's a classic BBC series. Yeah. I lost my copy in the flood, but then I found some in the local library's bookstore, and I got the set for $1. And maybe I'll lose that set this week. I'm sorry.
God.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
God.
It's like just this past. I'm fine. I like Guy Claudius, and I like to own physical media. It's just floods don't like physical media. Anyway, not that anything's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see how the week plays out.